So, for those of you who don't know or, don't really have a TikTok, this is one of the few feuds that has been going on for a while. That being Sauron or Lord of the Rings versus Transformers. And again, it's gotten very toxic for literally no reason here. You see, you're about to see a plethora of evidence here to show that, well, it got so bad that the main proprietor of this got racist. Yeah, I know. It doesn't even need to go this far because even then, you guys are about to see where it only really came about when me and my mutual started asking questions like, hey, did I miss? And I was even asking, like, did I miss something? Because again, you guys know me, I do Lord of the Rings content on my channel, especially when it comes to like the monsters of the verse. I have a Mumma Kill video. I have 4 in Caligon the Black Dread videos, which are in the underrated creatures section. By the way, definitely got to do another Wendigo video, by the way, so prepare for that one. And the irony of it is here, it just didn't need to go that far. And the fact that not only is he doing it, he tries to not only justify it, saying that it's easily, if you can't handle it, obviously cope, and then even states that he's actually used the hard R in certain situations, and even having Discord members, being encouraged to use said word. So I'm not mad. I'm not. I mean, I know I'm a black and Native American man in America, so it's kind of obvious, right? But again, I'm not mad that this is even happening. Disappointed, yes, obviously, right? I'm obviously disappointed that this even got to this point, right? But again, it didn't even need to. All we did was ask questions about, okay, why does Sauron get that high? And then again, downplaying Transformers on top of it, which I don't understand why it's even like this now. Like, I guess it's like been like that for a while. But probably because Death Battle did it twice, mind you. And I'm still having to defend Transformers and even show the actual evidence that they didn't even use, which I even still get questioned about, hey, what do you think about Frieza versus Megatron to like this very day? And I'm just like, look, I made a full video about it, but if you want my information or if you want my full opinion on it, yeah, they flat out lied about everything. Like, let's just be honest here. But yeah, without further ado, let's start with the video that started it. I expected this to come towards my door at some point, but with that being said here, no, Megatron versus Sauron is not even a close matchup at all, especially a composite Megatron. For starters, these are all of Sauron's powers and abilities. Very great for someone like him or someone from his verse, but again, nothing that any Cybertronian hasn't been able to do. Now, for starters as well, there also is a difference between the reality and the myth when it comes to the Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is a infinite-sized multiverse with a few realms to give or take here, but again, when it comes to its size, it's a very small multiverse compared to others of the cosmology. Now, keep in mind, there are also things like sub-creators, Dioneers, scaling above things like space and time, being beyond the concepts of laws and, well, laws with some contradictions, apparently. But again, they actually are able to shake a timeless void within a war with the Balrogs. So, but with that being said here, I guess that gets them to high autoversal. But hey, whatever. But with that being said here, yeah, Megatron would absolutely one-shot someone of this caliber here. For starters, he's able to harm and destroy the body of Regenesis Shockwave. Well, yes, I understand he allowed himself to be killed. That does not change his durability in the slightest. Now, Regenesis Shockwave himself was actually so powerful that he became the concept of eternity. Keep in mind, in the Transformers cosmology itself, there are many verses that actually do make up a single multiverse. Using just simply IDW Megatron in general here, you have the fact that this means Shockwave was capable of actually affecting things like the Cthulhu mythos and Dungeons and Dragons, which actually are pretty much tied to the IDW Transformers multiverse, which also exists on an infinite dimensional level, which is a much higher scale compared to the likes of anything in Lord of the Rings. Then you have the fact that Megatron, the Japanese G1 storyline, has the ability to adapt to any attack and make himself stronger. Keep in mind, Optimus Maximus, powered up by Amalgamous Energy, got one-shotted by the likes of God Neptune, who had the power of 5 matrices. Megatron Omega himself not only was able to injure God Neptune with 5 matrices here, but was also able to pretty much tank an attack that was capable of restraining him with all 5 matrices pretty much combined and united, and then was actually sliced in half the same way that the Optimus Maximus was. However, his body registered it and then simply adapted to it entirely, and then became Megatron Omega in his perfect form, and this allowed him to actually beat God Neptune and actually steal all the Matrix's power. But keep in mind, he got stronger during the series as he was able to pretty much harvest the gold power. The gold power itself gives the user the power of the entire Transformers Omniverse, and this allows them to summon any version of themselves at the same power level as each other, meaning each character was as powerful as an alternity. Go ahead and go to my channel for any alternity scaling in general. And this is actually important because he was also able to stalemate a gold power Optimus, meaning that this Megatron would actually scale to any matrix across the Transformers Omniverse. And keep in mind, all the matrices are singularity. Again, I have videos for that on my channel. If you just want to scan, just say it in the comment section down below and I will prove it. All matrices are singularities, meaning they would actually scale to each other. And keep in mind, Armada Optimus, which is vastly weaker than Gold Optimus here, actually used his matrix to actually harm a Unicron that was consuming everything on a narrative level, and was actually able to get to the writer until the writer bargained with him. As you can see here, he was actually going to devour, or he was devouring, the content of his own issue, meaning that not only is Megatron vastly higher in the scaling order than Sauron, but he's able to fight and affect beings that are capable of actually transcending the comic and actually attacking the writer. So as you guys saw, this video was pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and very respectful. Again, I don't understand why it's always, Transformers is weaker than this, Transformers is weaker than that, when it's obviously, a very powerful verse in its own right, capable of rivaling characters in Marvel and DC quite casually. But for some reason, it's always just, Transformers is like one of the weakest verses in fiction for some reason. I'll never understand. I'll never get that. But the irony of it is here, it's just that it doesn't even need to get this far. It doesn't need to get racist. It doesn't need to, nothing really over comics needs to really go this far. I mean, it's a simple yet it's a simple thing. It's comics, it's fictional characters and stuff like that. Yes, we do, understand that there are certain tiers, there are certain power levels, and there are certain things about it, right? But Transformers, for some reason, is like the kid that gets bullied constantly at school by everybody else, and you don't even understand why that kid's being bullied, because he looks just as normal or just like everybody else, but for some reason he just gets bullied. And in all honesty, I'm not mad about this. I'm not mad that it even got racial and stuff like that, because there are those like that in the comic community. I mean, we've seen the controversy with Absolute Batman somehow having supremacists here being upset about it. You guys know the type of supremacists I'm talking about, the Triple K clan members or the Neo Hydra agents and stuff like that in real life. But it's it is what it is at this point, because again, you still have people like that, and again, they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon unless they flat out change, or people eventually get sick of it and just start, you guys get what I mean, right? But with that being said here, yeah, I really don't see it. And again, this didn't really end on like a positive note or anything. It's like, oh well, maybe he eventually apologized, something like that. But no, this is actually how it ended. Hey guys, it's your favorite Dinobot here, and this is going to be both on YouTube and TikTok, so yeah, kind of just be ready for that as well. So with that being said here, today is a momentous occasion because I've been blocked by Anir, the same person that y'all have sent me videos of him slandering Transformers and downplaying it, him challenging y'all to debates, and actually him being an acist as well. Despite the fact that, it could have been just a simple conversation could have just been over with, right? So shout out to everyone who's done this, even giving him, this video as well, because again, it is what it is here. And well, with that being said here, let's talk about this. So if you guys want, this is Megatron versus Sauron. Isn't even close. It's short and simple because again, I do kind of direct y'all to my channel to get full information on things like the Transformers cosmology, and keep in mind there is an updated version about it. However, what I actually find funny about this here is the fact that Lord of the Rings fanboys like Anir actually started this. Like, y'all came at the Transformers fandom, and then we literally just asked y'all, okay, well, where does Sauron scale? Because me personally, I thought I missed something because I didn't think Sauron could literally get to Outer. And then when I looked at the information, I'm like, okay, yeah, you could definitely say that. But again, the cosmology of Lord of the Rings also matters. And sometimes it doesn't even match what's going on or what is really being said for it. But again, gave it the benefit of the doubt. And keep in mind, as you guys saw earlier, I do have Lord of the Rings content because I love me some good old Caligon the Black Dread, and now I'm going to be putting Smaug on my channel very soon, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Now, with that being said here, what I find very interesting about this is the fact that all it took was one video. Like, like, dude, you had around, like, what, 8,000 subs? Or 8,000 followers? All you had to do was make one counter video and post your evidence. What's wrong? Like, what's wrong with it? By the way, finally organized my collections, by the way. So Transformers, Marvel, and Kaiju. So hope you guys enjoy that. DC as well, but you guys get it. It mainly is with the Marvel Rivals stuff and like that. But that being said, let's continue, right? Now, what I actually find interesting about this, and again, it's very repetitive. It's always Transformers that seems to get, like the disrespect chain for some reason. And I find it funny because it's just like, okay, so what fandom do I have to deal with today? I've dealt with Marvel multiple times. I've dealt with DC multiple times. And now it's Lord of the Rings, which is actually funny. Oh, I used to deal with Dragon Ball fans as well. Danny Boy, I think y'all remember that on my old page, right? I used to have to deal with Dragon Ball fanboys with the older information about Transformers and stuff like that. So I've been having to deal with this stuff for years. And again, to me, it feels like it gets easier the more I find out more stuff about Transformers. And again, keep in mind, I have to update myself constantly. I have to keep looking for stuff. I have to keep looking into information, especially when it comes to people like the 13 original primes and stuff like that, because again, they are powerful, high-tier cosmic entities. Even members of the Guiding Hand and stuff like that, Age of the Primes and stuff like that, okay? I have to constantly update myself. But with this being said here about this situation, I find it hilarious and also disappointing the fact that this could have easily, once again, been solved in a civil fashion. I don't have time to really be throwing around insults or racial slurs. I mean, personally, I don't believe it should be done when it's something talking about comics. But again, if you're wrong, you're wrong. But the thing about it is, how did it go from, hey, can we please have some information about Sauron and how he actually gets to this level? Because again, saying you solo an entire verse when it's very clear you might not know what the entire verse contains is quite telling. Because again, like I always say, challenge people who actually do say something that comp Transformers gets soloed. Ask them, okay, what makes up the Transformers cosmology? Have you read Transformers cosmology? And again, if the first thing they say is IDW, you got them. It's already over from that point. Just go ahead and just educate them in a peaceful and possibly brutal fashion at the same time. Look, you can be peaceful and be brutal at the same time. Look, it is what it is. But the thing about it is, though, it doesn't need to go this far. All I simply asked for, again, was information. And it escalated to a point where now this is what's going on. So, yeah, I'm not really caring the fact that he blocked me. I find it hilarious, to be honest. But with that being said here, again, keep doing the, to all my mutuals and stuff, keep doing the good work. Keep doing the good work. I'm going to do my part. Y'all do y'all part, all right? So with that being said here, we will continue on as normal, all right? Don't harass him. Don't even give him the time of day, considering the fact that he's been outed as an racist and stuff like that. So just don't even bother giving the time of day on about that one. Again, if he can't really debate without being, that kind of person, he's not really worth y'all time. But with that being said here, hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Yeah, I'll be posting the evidence on, YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a blessed day.